I am John and I make dumb guitar videos in my basement. This time I'm not in the spare bedroom, I'm back behind the pool table because there wasn't enough room for this video I'm doing today. So I get asked a lot, how many guitars do you own? And it's usually more in surprise because every time people will see me I've got a different guitar going on. So the number's 14. Officially it's 12 and I'll explain that. So the reason I'm going to deduct 2 is number 1, I got this out of the trash. Yes, I dumpster dived. Somebody was throwing this away and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I said, I have kids, I have girls, and this is a pink guitar. So if my girls ever want to learn guitar, here's a guitar. It's a first act. This thing never goes out of tune. It is amazing because I've just... And I've tried to pique my kids' interest in it and they're just not interested yet. But we're working on it. Maybe I'll save them a lot of money by not getting them involved in guitar stuff. So this deducts 1. So then our total then goes from 14 to 13. Technically a guitar. It's a bass guitar. And I bought this, my friend Troy was like, if you're just recording, this will be a good bass for you that you can just... I'm not really a bass player, but I wanted to record some bass stuff on an album I'm recording. So I bought this here Yamaha, and he said, you'll be able to sell it, and you may not get all your money back, but you'll at least get some. But you know, I'm not really interested in selling it. It did the job. It's comfortable, and I can play it. But it really, at this point in time, it sits on the wall and does nothing. Next guitar is a Line 6 Variax Acoustic, and this is pretty cool. It models all kinds of acoustic guitars, and it's nifty. It does the trick. Probably one day we'll invest in a good acoustic guitar to replace it, but it's plays like an electric, has a little bit of that acoustic stuff. The body vibrates really well. It's got a nice mahogany body. The neck is like a PRS, so it's like a PRS electric. It's the closest thing I can describe it, but the action's nice and low, so it is good for that. So Harley Benton HB35, made to resemble a 335, HB35, it's not 335, made to resemble a 335. What attracted me to this guitar was I wanted to try a semi-hollow body again. I hadn't tried one in ages, and I liked that the toggle switch is up on the upper bout here. I like that. I'm a die-hard Les Paul guy, and having that toggle switch up there is just natural to me. So we upgraded this, and there's another video or 2 on my channel with this, and this is great playing, great sounding guitar. It's amazing what you can do with, I think I paid $300 for it, maybe $400, and I stuck a couple $100 into it, and it is a player. It is a machine. Love this guitar. So that's one tool in the toolbox. This is a bucket list guitar. I wanted to get a hammer, but just anything quality from Hammer is just way too expensive. So this is an Area Pro, made in Japan, 1976, which, if you know anything about Japanese construction of guitars, it's high quality. It's a lot better than anything that was coming out of Gibson during the Norland era, and even parts of the Juskowitz era of Gibson. And it's the closest I could get to a real 76 type Explorer with binding, which was the selling point for me, that I could get. And I got this rather cheap. It was beat up, had to do some work. I did a video on this. Pickups are extremely hot, and I don't know if you can see the flame on that because the lights are reflecting, but it is, and it's a veneer, but who gives a rip? It's a beauty. It's a beauty. And it's a rock and roll machine. It is hot. It is good for the metal. Next one is another Line 6. Variax 700. Love that top. just gorgeous. And this has actually got to go to the repair shop. He's got a couple little issues going on. I don't know what's going on, but the string is probably just a truss rod adjustment or something like that. But it's also got an input issue going on. So unfortunately, not just anybody can work on these. It's got to be factory authorized line 6. So he's going to take a trip to the state of Indiana next week, and he's going to go visit a repair shop. What are you doing, kitten? Do you hear my cat? Next one is it's a Chipson. Don't buy Chipsons, please. For the love of all things holy. I bought this 12 years ago or so. If the camera gets knocked, it's because the cat's rubbing on it. What are you doing, kitty cat? I bought this, and it was around 2008, 2009. The economy was tanked. I wasn't playing in any bands, and I needed an electric. I didn't have an electric at the time. So I saw this perusing the internet one night late at night. My wife wasn't home to keep me in check, and I threw $300 and caution to the wind, and then this thing arrived. And it's okay. Hi, kitty cat. You can do a lot better than Chipson. You know, if you're concerned about what it says on this headstock, you're the only one. And if you are concerned about what other people think, if you play an Epiphone or another off-brand guitar, those people aren't worth impressing anyway, because they're not going to be impressed by anything. If I saw somebody playing an Epiphone and it sounded great, I like, what do you got in that? What's going on? That is a great sounding guitar. But and the Chipsons are easily identifiable. If I saw somebody playing a Chipson, I'd be like, okay, dude, you know, whatever's. So learn from my mistake. I'm going to do a review video on it, but it's really just, it's junk, and I would not ever recommend. Anyway, they're starting to confiscate these things through customs anyway, but Gibson is doing good things these days. Jeskowitz era is over. You've got JC in there. He's doing great work, and Mark Ignacy, or whatever his name is, as creepy as he is, you know, he's a good spokesman for the brand. He loves the brand. So save up your money, pay for a real Gibson, or buy something a little less expensive and mod it and do whatever you got to do. Are you going to help? Are you helping with my video today? Are you my helper? So, like I say, we'll do a review video of that, but I just did a video on this one the other day. Is a Squier Classic Vibe Strat. And this is another case where don't be concerned with what's on the headstock, because holy cow. Now granted, I had my buddy build some new pickups for this and did some harness stuff, but if you've seen that video, you know this thing sounds killer. It plays killer. The frets are nice and clean, the action's nice and low, and it's just fantastic. For $400, and then I threw a little money into some pickups and stuff like that. I think I got total $700 into it. For $700, I got something that's just fantastic for less than I would pay for an American Strat. So do not be concerned about what's on the headstock. People who matter don't care what's on your headstock. They're going to be more impressed that you can get stuff out of a less expensive guitar. Okay, Kitty, you are right in the way where this guitar's got to go, so I'm sorry. Next up, speaking of made in Japan, this is a Greco SS600, which is obviously an SG copy, and this is a cool guitar. Action, this is the lowest action I've ever played on. Well, there's one guitar I've played with lower action, but this is really low action. Neck's super thin, but it's also really, I think it's 42 millimeter or whatever it is. it's too thin for me. And it fattens up down here, but down here, the cowboy chords, it's just so thin. It weighs next to nothing. It's a great guitar. It's up for sale on Reverb at the time of filming of this video. And I've got, or no, it's not. I took it down because I was selling something else. I don't like to sell too many guitars on Reverb at the same time, because then people think I'm trying to dump off stuff because I need money. I don't need the money. If you've ever seen my Reverb videos and you think, oh, I can lowball this guy, ain't gonna happen. I am gainfully employed. I got money to invest in guitars. I am not hurting for money. So, but this is fun. I know there's a guy who's interested. He was watching it and he messaged me when I took it down. He's like, why'd you take it down? Did you sell it? And I said, no, I just unlisted it temporarily. So this may make its way back up to Reverb again someday. All right, then we're gonna get to the Rack of Paul. So that's so far 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minus 2. We're at 7. Is that right? Yes. So, okay. Again, cheaper brand, Harley Benton, Ferris Blue DC Junior. This is a monster. The tones and the feel and just the ability to get all the way up. Not that I get up here too often, but once in a while I do. Put an intonatable bridge on it and had custom pickup electronics and stuff, but I still got the stock tuners. And this thing is a machine. I absolutely love this thing. Just such a cool guitar, such a cool vibe, such a cool color. Really dig this one. 1982 Greco Super Real. You've seen this in a few videos if you've paid any attention to my channel. And this thing is an absolute machine. Got Mission Custom humbuckers in it. This one is for sale up on Reverb, and I'm actually selling this because the money from this sale I'm going to donate to our music department at church. So that's why I put this up, and then I didn't put that, or I took that one down because I didn't want it to look like trying to dump stuff off cheap. So that one is for sale, but this is, wow, this guitar just, it hums. It is a rock and roll machine. It sounds like your classic 50, like people go after the burst tone. I think it's pretty close to that. So it's a beaut, and I don't want to sell it, but you know, sometimes you not even sometimes, when you say you're going to do something, you need to stick to it and do it at your word. So that's what I'm doing with this. And this is by far my favorite Les Paul. Another 82 Greco. This was mint collection just after the Super Real. Wow, it's a little bit heavy, but this is a humdinger. I have modded the heck out of it with the new bridge and the tuners, and I put a string butler on there and electronics, and the pickups again are Mission Customs, and this thing is just a beast. It has been through the ringer, and I'm not afraid to ding it or anything like that. It's got so much character. This is I love this guitar. I really do. This is the world famous Snot, so named by Ken Reynolds from my church. And again, don't worry about what's on the headstock. Epiphone, who cares? This is a quality guitar. Now, I did change out the pickups, and that was it. Oh, and I put an intonatable bridge on there. But holy cow, this thing is just... This is my second best sounding guitar, and it sings and it honks. If I had to stick down to 3 guitars that I would keep, that I would you'd have to pry them out of my hands. This is one, the black Les Paul, and that Squier Strat are the 3 that I would say, nope, can't have those. Anything else could go, but not those. It's 1952 Les Paul reissue, tribute to Les Paul. You can see on the headstock it's got his image laser etched in there in Les Paul, and it's got the P90s and the trapeze, and amazingly perfectly intonated, even with that trapeze tailpiece. And this is a cool guitar. It's a boat anchor. It weighs so much. I can't do it anymore. I can't play 12 pound guitar anymore. I mean, it hurts. So, and it's also because it's only one of 400, I just feel bad about playing it out and the concern over damaging it or doing anything to it. And it's like, that's not the way to own an instrument. You have instruments to play them, not to sit there and I mean, unless you're rich, but even then, if I was filthy stinking rich, I would buy a lot of guitars, but they would only be guitars that I'd want to play. I wouldn't want to stick a bunch in you know, climate control and all that stuff. Just, yeah. So this one actually is going to go up for sale here pretty quick, but I wanted to make this video before I did that. The collection, as of March 5, 2021, and it's fluid. I know that the Line 6, the Variax 700 electric, once that has the repairs done to it, that's going to go on the market. I don't have any use for it anymore. The Line 6 acoustic I'll keep until I find a real acoustic guitar that I want to replace it with, and the SG is gone. So of this collection, 4 are going to be gone very soon. Well, hopefully very soon if people buy them, but yeah, we'll see what happens. That's my guitars. Hope you liked it. Bam.